what is seller financing and how does it work? So welcome back. Now, the wise real estate investor understands that selling the property is when you prove how much money you really made. All right. When do you make the money? You make the money when you buy it. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to answer your question, what is seller financing and how does it work? Now, this is the thing you'll want to learn a lot about because you can sell properties quickly. So, human nature is not on your side. Basically, people don't do well when they make payments. They don't do well with their financing. So we're going to talk about seller financing and how it works and how you can make sure that you don't get hurt. And that's real simple. You're going to sell the property, but you're not going to sell the title until you get fully paid. So seller financing means installment payments and some type of a down payment. Now, people are not very disciplined about how they spend their money. So what happens to them? Well, the credit card companies and the banks, they make them do automatic payments because they don't budget their money very well. Federal government's even worse. Federal government says, no way we're going to wait for you to pay us. We're going to take it out of your check. So the point is, human nature is not on your side, and most people spend more than they earn. So they end up with a lot of credit card debt and a lot of installment sale. However, it's probably the only way you're going to sell some of these properties because the people don't have the cash. They might have a good job, and maybe they can make good payments, but they've got a poor FICO score. That's a problem. And if they have a poor score, that means the bank is going to reject them. So you're going to do business with a lot of these people. Now, everyone that's buying a property is doing it because they want peace of mind. They want a place to live that they can just make payments on. They really don't care how long they make the payments, but they do care that it's within their budget, supposedly. All right, now America buys on installments. Doesn't matter whether it's cars or boats, cell phones, computers, sometimes even at the department stores, they're buying on credit. Those are called installment sales. Now, the banks don't usually use the words installment sale. The bank will usually say 30-year mortgage, or they'll say an extended mortgage. In other words, they don't want it to sound like it's going to be cumbersome. Well, the payment on anything is always cumbersome. So if you have a 30-year mortgage, sometime during that 30 years, I could guarantee you some crisis will take place. Might be a damaged car, might be no insurance, might be a hurricane, I don't know what it's going to be. So that might mean you don't make your payment on your mortgage. Well, if you don't make one payment, you're going to be okay because you can catch up. But if you get a few payments behind, the bank's going to take the property away from you. Now you're going to have poor credit. About 25% of the market already has poor credit. Now, how did they get poor credit? Well, it was their own choice. They took on a lot of payments, so now the bank takes the property back. They still might have their job, but they don't have a property. So they're looking for a place to stay. So they need a roof over their head. They're looking for installment payments, and they can probably somehow get a small down payment together. So the properties you're buying at tax auctions, in many cases, are used and abused. However, they have a huge difference in pricing because you're going to buy them for 10 and 20 cents on the dollar. So who's going to be attracted to your used and abused property? It's going to be someone that's been through a bankruptcy or some sickness or divorce. They're basically people that haven't made the best decisions. And because they haven't, now they need some help from the seller. So now it's called seller financing. You are the seller because you own the property. So you can have seller financing. That means you're willing to accept payments over a period of time. Now, the loans I suggest people do are about 10 years. Can you do longer than that? Yes, but you're going to want your money in a certain period of time. So I suggest 10 years. Are you locked into anything? No. As long as you follow the laws of that state and the Treasury rules on lending, and that really has to do with discrimination, you just follow those rules, nobody's going to bother you with this kind of financing. So brokers understand it, market understands it. I'm not an attorney, I'm not a real estate broker, I'm not a CPA, but I can teach you enough so that you know it and understand it. And if you do, you're going to find out that the average person that's coming to you from your Craigslist ad or from your signs out front or whatever is a person that has a poor FICO score or a person that's had some crises happen in their life. That doesn't mean they don't have money. So don't assume because they lost a house or whatever happened to them, they don't have money. They might have a good paying job And as long as they'll pay you, that's all you care about, because you're going to sell them a property, but you're not going to give them the title until they pay for it. All right, so the government, as you know, they always get paid before you do. What you really want to do is you want to sell your property, but you want to hold on to the deed. You want to keep the deed. So in the tax lien and the tax deed business, if you're selling any property that you got from the auction, the mortgage is going to be wiped out, so there won't be any there. So you want to be the one that creates the mortgage. We're going to call that a contract of sale. All right, now there's a huge margin here. That's what attracted me to the business. The margin is this. If you can buy it 10 or 20 cents on the dollar and you can sell it 100 cents, well, that's 90 cents of margin. Well, you're probably not going to get that because it's used and abused. So what are you going to do? If you could buy it for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar, then sell it for maybe 40 or 50 cents on the dollar, make a nice profit. If you want to get it all in cash, go ahead and do that because you're discounted, or use installment sale. Now, the installment sale means you get a down payment, you keep that money, and you get monthly payments. All right, is that a good way to do it? Yes, it's a very good way to do it. Keeping in mind, some are used and abused, like the one on the right. You don't want that one. You want to get the house on the left. They might require a little bit of fix-up and whatever, but you don't want to buy properties that you have to do major rehab, because it's going to cost you all your savings to do that. All right, now the deals have margin. Why? The big margin is a result of you buying at the right price. And so that's the attractive thing to tax defaulted property. You're going to buy it at a low price and you're going to sell it at a low price. Did I say you were going to give it away? No. The objective here is to learn how to make $25, $50, and even $100,000 on a deal. Now, if $100,000 is impressing you, I'm going to tell you right now, those deals are out there and they're happening every day. And I've got tons of examples. And if you stay on this channel long enough, you'll see those examples of people making $100,000 on one deal and getting cash for it. All right, so the more the buyers you have, the better. Most of them are going to be credit challenged. They got credit challenged because of a lot of bad decisions, or they had a good mortgage, everything was going well, and they had some crises and they didn't pay it. So you're going to be the gold mine for them, and you're going to be the gold mine for yourself, because you're going to end up doing the finances for them. You're going to do the financing for them. Maybe some of them are just divorced. Maybe some of them are unqualified because of the job they have. I don't know why, but if they've had a bankruptcy, I can tell you right now, no banker is going to touch them. All right, so the bankers look at those people as unqualified. I didn't say they were bad people. These people have made judgment errors. They've had crises in their life like sickness. They've had car accidents. They've had hurricanes. They've had whatever. But if they've got a job and can pay you, why wouldn't you want to sell to them? You would want to sell to them. So that's called seller financing. They're people, average people like you're looking at on the screen. Some are young, some are old. They need some help. All right, so that's about 25% of the market, and you can appeal to them just using the correct advertising. I'll show you a little bit about that in the next few minutes. All right, so these people basically have challenges. They're looking for your ads, which may be on Craigslist, it could be on eBay, or they could be on Facebook Marketplace. They'll definitely be on big signs in the front of your property by saying seller financing. They know that they can get the loan from you. If they can get the loan from you, they're going to not have to go to the bank. They're not going to have to do an appraisal. They're not going to have to do a home inspection. They can get this deal done by Friday, because you can make the deal in the hood of your car. That's right. They signed the contract. They're ready to move in. Why? Because they need a place to stay. All right. Is this the sophisticated business of selling in the country club or working on Wall Street? No. This is bread and butter business, but there's a ton of it, because seller financing helps a lot of potential buyers. A lot of buyers start out fixing their credit by doing this kind of financing. All right, now the auctions are taking place across the country. Every single community is going to have an auction, and they'll announce the auction. Anybody can go, look at the picture real close. What are they? They're ordinary people at an auction looking for a good deal. You want to be that person at that auction buying at the tax defaulted auction and getting the good deals so that you can make money, number one, selling it, and number two, on the financing. Now, the bidding at those auctions always is going to start at the back taxes. And when the auction is finished, they're going to wipe out the mortgage. So now you get a mortgage-free property that you own outright. You can sell it any way you want. So seller financing, and how does it work? That's what this episode is all about. Let me say it again. This episode is all about seller financing and how does it work. So let's learn how does it work. All right, so to start with, we've got a house that's going to appraise at around $80,000. Did you appraise it at that? You're going to appraise it at anything you want, but the tax assessed value is going to be the tax assessed value. All right, so that's on the property. Now, these properties are going to start at just the back taxes. So that property might start selling at $2,000 or $3,000, which will astonish you. But let's say you spend 10 cents on the dollar. So look at the slide. $80,000, 10%, you buy it for $8,000. Now that's what I call plenty of margin. In other words, you've got a low price and it could have a high price to sell it, which might look like this. Wow. Well, maybe you can sell it for $80,000 right away, but could you discount it and be assured that you're going to do that? Could you sell it for $30,000, $40,000, or $50,000? Well, your ad will tell you, because you can put it on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, all the electronic sites, and try it out. What does your ad look like? It simply says assessed value, installment sale, low down payment. I'll tell you right now, your email's going to light up and your phone's going to ring. Why? Because there's 25% of the market can't go to the bank and get any money. They've already tapped out all the relatives, so they can't. So go on Craigslist, Zillow, Trulia, go on those sites, advertise your property, let people know that you want to sell it. All right, now don't use the real estate agent of your best friend. It's nice that she got her license, but let her learn with somebody else. You need to make this thing work. So you need to buy it right, and now you have to make a price that will sell. Will it sell for $80,000? Maybe, but if it's slightly used and abused, it might sell much quicker at $50,000. Well, if you bought it for $8 and you sold it for $50, that seems to me to be one heck of a good profit. How many times in your life will you have made $40,000 on one deal? Well, if you get in this business, you can do it as many times a year as you want to do it. My point is, the value is there, established by someone else, not you, and you bought it right. That's the key. So the student investor wants to buy at the absolute lowest price. When you buy at the auction, the mortgage is completely wiped out. Now, if we could sell it for $50,000, we got a lot of profit. Now, how does it look? Well, let's look at the side. The investor that's going to buy it, or the person buying it, is saying, wow, $80,000, at least I got it for $50,000. So they're willing to give you some down payment. Well, if you paid $8,000 and now you get your $8,000, are you happy? You got all your money back. Let me say it again. You just got all your money back, and now you're going to have payments for as long as you want. So if this seller said they would take an installment payment of $650 a month, well, okay, charge them $650 a month, and let's do that. $650 a month spread over 12 months is how much money? Well, it's going to be a lot of money. But what's my point here? If you made an investment and you got your money back, and now you can just get payments, you are on easy street. Why? Because you got your money back, you go start over again. All right, so if we got all our money back and we get payments, here's what it looks like. So we got an installment sale, they paid us $8,000 down, and now we're going to get $650 a month. What if we got that for 10 years? Well, that would be $7,800 a year, or $78,000. $78,000 on an $8,000 investment. I don't know where you live, but that's really big money where I live. That's a lot of money. So the value is way up there at $80,000. The client doesn't care how much money you're going to make. They just want an installment sale. So guess what you got? You ended up with about $75,000. Take a close look at the payments you received on that property. You don't have to do that too many times. So seller financing really works. Now, at the end of this session, I always have a gift for all of you, but I have two things I want to tell you to be cautious of. One, when you go to the auction, be sure you've looked at the property. I had someone that you know look at the property. Don't depend on pictures. They might be years old. I don't know if someone cropped the pictures and changed them. I don't know. But you don't want to buy from pictures. You want to see the property, boots on the ground. All right, why? What if there's a hurricane? What if there's a fire? What if it's next to a chicken farm? You got to know all those things before you buy it, because your whole objective is to sell it. All right, now, if you're also going to go to the auction and you're going to bid, you need to know how you're going to sell it. You're going to use an installment sale, or you're just going to buy it low and sell it low and grab off $25,000. It's going to be up to you. So right below me, is a free gift. Go to it now.